America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hello, TikTok. Hello, everybody listening this Monday. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all had a great weekend. This is former Congressman Joe Walsh, former presidential candidate Joe Walsh. Yes, I did run against Trump in 2020. Former Republican Joe Walsh. Thanks for joining me. This is the social contract with Joe Walsh. And before we get started, I hope. Well, I don't necessarily care if you like this show or not. I'd like it if you like the show, but I hope you understand and appreciate. Hello, all my MAGA friends. I hope you appreciate that it's different. I hope you appreciate this show's difference. I'm not a MAGA. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not of the left. I'm a proud Tea Party libertarian, never Trumper. That's a tough box to sit in, but it gives me a unique voice. I'm a former Trump supporter. I'm a former MAGA gangbanger. I'm a reformed MAGA gangbanger. I'll go at both sides. I'll go at all sides. I believe Trump's an existential threat to our democracy, but I want to hit the left all the time for some of the craziness the left engages in. The point I'm making is I have a different voice. I'm not tied to the left. I'm not tied to the right, TikTok. I hope you appreciate that voice. That's all. The difference of that voice. That's all. Whether you like the show or not, big deal. We'll have a great guest this week. By the way, the rhythm of this podcast, this daily podcast, Monday through Friday at this time, you can watch and listen live, or you can go to the YouTube channel, listen anytime during the day, is one major conversation a week, and then you'll get my quick takes 4 times a week as well. I want you to be radical with me today. I'm going to put something, TikTok. I'm going to put something radical in front of you today. And I want you to join me today and be radical. What do I mean by radical? I mean this. Look, the name of the game is to be outraged, right? We score political points, we gain audience, we gain followers when we can outrage people, get people pissed off, get people wound up, get people inflamed, man. Outrage, TikTok, carries the day. The more outrageous you are as a politician, the more attention you're going to get. The more outrageous you can be as a talk show host or as a TV personality, the bigger your audience. Left and right, we're all incentivized to be outrageous. I am incentivized to outrage you, to piss you off, to get you scared. That's what our politics is about today. That's what political media is about today. I'm going to present something very radical in front of you right now. Don't. How about understanding and not outrage? How about a show where we gain understanding and we don't gain outrage? How about a show where we try to impart some knowledge and some understanding instead of me just trying to piss you off and get you to be pissed off at the left or get you to be pissed off at MAGA? How about just a show? And I know it's a radical notion today, these days. It is a radical notion. How sad is that? Just a show to put out some understanding, to advance some understanding, not outrage. One more quick radical notion. We're all bombarded with lies and misinformation and disinformation every day. because we like the lies. We like the misinformation. We love it. You know you do, Trump supporter. You love it when Trump lies to you. You love it when Elon lies to you. We are all, way too many of us follow the lies. We follow the misinformation and the disinformation because it takes us to where we want to go. How about, here's a radical notion, how about we try to follow the truth, no matter where it takes us? If it takes us into a truth that is counter to what we believe, fine, it's the truth. Man, wouldn't it be a better place if we all did that, right? We tried to follow the truth wherever it took us, whether that supported our political position or not. How about we do that, TikTok? And that's a radical notion today. These fires. Oh my God, it's been a week. The fires in California started a week ago. And you go anywhere on social media the past week, you've been bombarded with bullshit and lies and disinformation. You've had people like Elon Musk out there saying the fires were a disaster because we had too many black and female firefighters. You had people like Elon pushing that crap. You had Trump out there, right? From day one. No sympathy from Trump, no empathy from Trump, no sorrow from Trump, no let's do all we can to help from Trump. No, right away, Trump politicized the situation and started peddling lies about some small fish and that Governor Newsom stored all the water in his house and there was no water available for these fires. How about we stop with the lies and the disinformation when it comes to these fires and try to wrap our arms around some truth? How about everybody? I mean, you choose. Let me put this in front of you. A week later, every single firefighter has pretty much said, once started, these fires were unstoppable. They could not be contained. Damn near every firefighter has said that. Now, you can choose to believe the firefighters, or you can choose to believe Trump and Elon Musk. There was I think a fire chief from Orange County, just south of Los Angeles County. He was on 60 Minutes last night. And I'm going to play most of the clip here. But he was on 60 Minutes last night. This firefighter who has been helping out with these fires, his entire department, in about a minute and a half, he laid down just a boatload of truth. He said these fires were unstoppable. He said, look, Mother Nature, this was all Mother Nature. Keith, and by the way, TikTok, because of the technology, you're not going to hear this audio TikTok, but I'll explain it to you. Keith, give it to me.
Mother Nature owned us those 2 days.
Neighboring Orange County Fire Chief Brian Fennessy has been fighting wildfires for almost 5 decades. He dispatched hundreds of firefighters to help Chief Maroney and beleaguered crews across L.A. One of the most powerful tools in their arsenal? This fleet of high-tech choppers that can fight fires 24/7, dropping up to 3,000 gallons of water each pass. But with Santa Ana winds gusting near 100 miles per hour, the choppers were grounded during crucial early hours.
The fires that they experienced this week were unstoppable.
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 What's it like for you, a firefighter, to have to say words like that?
Thanks, man. Thanks. Unstoppable. This Orange County fire chief there, TikTok, for those of you who didn't hear it, he said Mother Nature won. He said these fires were unstoppable. We'll get in a second here. Were they preventable? We can talk about that. But unstoppable once they started. Off the charts dry conditions. Tropical storm winds, 100-mile-an-hour winds. These fires were growing the size of 3 football fields every freaking minute. 3 football fields every minute. And because of the winds, for the first 27 to 36 hours, there was no air support. No planes, no helicopters, no firefighting from the air. Unstoppable. I mean, every firefighter has said this. No, and by the way, Elon interviewed some firefighters over the weekend, and Elon said, wasn't there a water shortage? And all the firefighters said, no, there was no water shortage. This had nothing to do with water. There were 100-mile-an-hour winds, right? Just so you understand, you cannot address wildfires like this on the ground. You can't. You have to attack them and defeat them from the air. For the first 27 to 36 hours, they couldn't get in the air because of the winds. Unstoppable. Now that's a fact. That's the truth. So when Trump's out there and Elon's out there and everybody else is out there saying Gavin Newsom's hoarding all the water, they're lying. It's all misinformation. There isn't an urban water system in the entire country engineered and constructed to fight wildfires. Can I say that again? Every firefighting expert that I read over the weekend, man, this is the one point they drove home. There is no urban water system in the entire country, not in Republican-run cities, not in Democratic-run cities. There's no urban water system in the entire country that's engineered and constructed to fight wildfires. And that's what this was. Now, it just seems to me as a people, we can address that real issue instead of, oh, I got to blame somebody. I got to blame somebody. I got to get political. I got to attack Gavin Newsom. I got to attack Mayor Karen Bass. I got to blame somebody. And then you get the firefighters who all said it's unstoppable. Once it started, it was unstoppable because of this perfect storm of conditions. Now, I look again. Hydrants, like in urban water systems, you can't stop wildfires with hydrants. You can't stop wildfires with on-the-ground firefighting. And I hope everybody realizes that because of those Santa Ana winds, for almost the first 36 hours, they had nothing up in the air. Within hours, these fires were twice the size of Manhattan. So when a firefighter says unstoppable, it's the truth. Had nothing to do with water. And I don't want to bore you with more details or facts. There was plenty of water. There were problems, right, with the pressure system because the system was so in demand. It was overloaded. Pipes were burning. Because of all the demand, there was no pressure in the pipes. So the water couldn't get up into the hills. A lot of reasons, but there was plenty of water. That's not the point. My point is twofold. And by the way, I see you, MAGA. Look, preventable? Were these fires preventable? Maybe. I mean, we got to have that long, hard conversation. Should we be building homes right here, right at the base of these mountains? I mean, this is one of the most fire-prone areas in the country. LA County is a desert. The hills and mountains that surround Los Angeles, there are fires every single year. I hope you understand that, everybody. MAGA, I hope you understand that. This will be the most expensive fire they've had. LA County, they experience fires in these hills and mountains surrounding LA every year. There's no longer a fire season, it's a fire year. And a couple times a decade, there are major fires that wipe out hundreds, if not thousands, of structures. This is the history of LA. It's a great area. I used to live in LA for a little bit. People have chosen to live right at the base of these hills and up into these hills. Are there things that we can do to mitigate? Sure, right? So I guess the most accurate place to end this conversation is, were these fires preventable? Hard to tell. Maybe, right. There were clearing things, that mandatory clearing things that could have been done, clearing the brush, that weren't done. And a lot of the people that live there don't do that. The whole planned burn operation has not been consistent. There are things that can be done to help mitigate, but there was plenty of water. This wasn't a water issue. This was a perfect storm of 100-mile-an-hour winds combined with unbelievably dry conditions that made this fire unstoppable. And I'll say this again. Go ahead and pick on LA because the Democrats run LA. Austin, Nashville, Houston, pick your city, pick your urban area anywhere in this country. Pick your urban area run by Republicans. Pick your cities with Republican mayors. Pick your cities with Democratic mayors. Read my lips again. There's no urban water system in this country designed to fight wildfires. That's the issue. That's the problem. You want to address that? You want to change that? Then let's have a grown-up conversation about that. But don't be like Trump and don't be like Elon, and stop with the lies. Stop with the political fighting. I know, look, I know it's much more fun and it's much easier to go after Gavin Newsom, right? Oh, yeah. And to go after LA. Right? Because Democrats have run LA for years. So it's so much easier to just blame Democrats for something like this. Even though this has been a problem forever. And even though once this fire started, it was unstoppable. And I got to tell you, final thought on this, a week later, the fire hit a week ago today, the fires hit. And the first words out of Donald Trump's mouth were to go after Gavin Newsom and Democrats and lie and politicize. Think about that. The guy who's going to be sworn in a week, when he first heard that Americans were dying and fleeing and losing everything they had, his first and second and only words out of his mouth were to attack Democrats. Not one word of sympathy. Not one word of empathy. And by the way, thank you, Mexico. Thank you, Canada. Mexico and Canada have been sending firefighters and planes and resources to LA this whole last week. Thank you, Mexico. Thank you, Canada. Mexico and Canada have done a hell of a lot more than Trump and Elon and anybody else when it comes to these fires, when it comes to providing support to the people impacted by these fires. Heck, Ukrainian President Zelensky last night said they've got 150 firefighters they are going to send to LA County. Thank you, Ukraine. Be like Mexico, be like Canada, be like Ukraine. Help. Keep your mouth shut and help. Don't be like Trump. Don't be like Elon. But try to get yourself smart. Try to get yourself smart about what happened. Don't just take political shots. Get knowledge about what happened. Right? It's so easy to say, oh, Joe, it's because of DEI. This is all Republicans were saying out of the gate. It's because of DEI. It's because the fire chief is a woman. It's because there was no water. It's because of some small fish called the smelt. Whatever. All the lies that were put out there. Not there was. I'll close with one more. There was another big lie yesterday from the right, from Republicans, was that a bunch of firefighters from Oregon came down a few days ago. And the big lie on the right the past couple of days was that they were delayed. All these Oregon firefighters driving their fire trucks and everything down, they were delayed by a day in Sacramento. They were held up because of California's bureaucracy and regulations. And that was out there all day yesterday, that lie. To the point that the Oregon Fire Department had to issue a statement calling this a lie. No, there was no delay. No, we were not held up. We drove all our trucks down. We spent the night in Sacramento. All the trucks were quickly examined to make sure they were okay. There was no delays. We got down to LA County. We've been fighting the fires for the last 4 days. No delays. That's just one of the lies that's been out there. Pushed by Trump. Pushed by Elon. Pushed by the right. I don't expect anything better from Trump, TikTok, but I expect better than us. Radical notion number 1 today. Don't follow the lies. Try to get at the truth. I got another lie. JD Vance, this has nothing to do with the fires, TikTok. JD Vance was on one of the Sunday shows yesterday. And he talked about, and I'll play it in a second, the lousy economic hand that the Trump administration, incoming administration, is going to be given. Like it's a shit show or it's a dumpster fire economically, America. Play it, Keith. JD Vance yesterday.
Talk about what he's left on the border. He wants to talk about what he's left to on the economy. There was a robust report out of December on jobs. Unemployment down to 4.1%. President Biden says his policy decisions are finally paying off. Here's a bit of more he said on Friday.
Sure. After decades of trickle-down economics that primarily benefited those at the very top, Kamala and I and our administration have written a new playbook that's growing the economy from the middle out and the bottom up that benefits everyone. The new playbook is working.
Okay, so the December numbers were good. What kind of credit do you give him?
Well, look, first of all, I wish Joe Biden all the best, but the fact is he has left us a dumpster fire, not just at the border, but also with the economy. First of all, we know that prices are...
Stop him. Stop, JD. TikTok, for those of you who couldn't hear, that was JD Vance yesterday saying Joe Biden is giving Donald Trump a dumpster fire of an economy. JD Vance yesterday, apologized, TikTok, you couldn't hear it, everybody else could, saying that they're getting a dumpster fire. The economy that we're getting from Biden, JD Vance said, is a dumpster fire. That's a lie. And the beauty about this is, MAGA, listen, it's quantifiable. It's really easy. Like, that's such a stupid thing to lie about. JD Vance saying the economy sucks. What a stupid thing to lie about, because it's so easy to disprove. Donald Trump, everybody, repeat after me, is inheriting a great economy. How do I know that? Because of every economic indicator. Follow me, I'll go slow. For the past 2 years, employment in this country, way, way up. For the past 2 years, unemployment in this country, way, way up. For the past 2 years in this country, wages, way, way up. For the past 2 years in this country, the markets, way, way up. For the past 2 years, inflation in this country has been coming down. It peaked 2 years ago. It's at 2.7% now. For the past 2 years, personal spending of the American people is way, way up. The United States in the last 2 to 3 years has experienced by far the best post-COVID economic recovery of any industrialized nation. Our economy is kicking ass. Our economy is doing great. Donald Trump is inheriting a great economy. JD Vance lied yesterday. Trump, be ready, America, because this is all Trump does. And Trump's going to get into office Monday, and he's going to say the same thing. I've been dealt a horrible hand. The economy sucks. He's lying. And again, MAGA, please, it's quantifiable by every single economic indicator. Our economy has been kicking ass for at least 2 years. Everything is good. Trump's inheriting a great economy. The American people are spending money like they've never spent before. Their wages are up. They're working. Unemployment is down. The stock market's been through the roof. I love it when I talk to wealthy Republican businessmen who bitch and moan about Biden, right? All these wealthy Republican businessmen who've told me the last 6 months, Joe, I don't like Trump, but I was doing a lot better under Trump. They've made a killing under Joe Biden. All these wealthy Republican businessmen invested in the market. They've been kicking butt. The market's been going through the roof. You can take off on Biden for whatever you want. You can get mad at Biden for whatever you want. You can be as pro-Trump as you want, Larry Allison, but you cannot make up your own facts. The American economy right now is the envy of the world. And it's doing great. And it's been doing great for the last couple of years. The December jobs report was through the roof. And if you think that's Trump, it's not. Biden's still president. The jobs report this past July was through the roof. Trump's going to lie about the economy. Do not let him. Repeat after me. Spread the word. Donald Trump is inheriting just an awesome economy. And you cannot argue with me. MAGA, you cannot argue with me because I got the facts and the truth. I got the numbers on my side. So come on again. Radical notion, I know. Be honest. You love Donald Trump for whatever, that's fine. But be honest in your support of him. Acknowledge that America by far has had the best post-COVID recovery, economic recovery of every industrialized nation. Just be honest that it is a great economy right now. Go ahead and love Trump. Love Trump until the cows come home. But again, don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. Final thought today, and we might have a picture of it. Thank you, Daniel. I try to tell the truth. That's all I try to do. That's Bob Rose. You bumped your head again, he said. The economy is horrible. The economy sucks, says Matt. I can't argue with that. All I can do is look at the numbers. Americans up and down, from The lower classes to the upper classes are spending money like they've never spent. The employment for everybody is way up. Wages are way up for everybody. The economy's doing great. And by the way, inflation peaked 2 years ago. Final topic. This radical Monday, when I'm asking you to do your best to advance some understanding and don't advance outrage. Try your best to be honest. Believe what you want. I mean, have your political beliefs, but try to base them in facts and truth. Did you see the Jimmy Carter funeral last week? It was kind of cool. Every living president was there. But I can't tell a lie. I was bothered by something at the Jimmy Carter funeral. There was Barack Obama sitting next to Donald Trump, and they were like laughing and talking and getting all chummy. And that bothered me. I think we have a shot of it. Keith, play me what you've got. Hang in there.
There's a moment right there. Barack Obama sitting next to President Trump. Suffice it to say, something.
A TikTok, you weren't able to see that. That was a shot of Obama and Trump sitting next to each other at the funeral, and they were talking and laughing with each other. And I'm bothered by that. I'm not the only one, by the way, bothered by that. A bunch of Trump supporters in the media have cried foul. Reince Priebus, the former head of the party on one of the Sunday shows yesterday, said it's bullshit that Obama's sitting there laughing with a guy that he called a fascist 4 months ago. I agree. It's bullshit that Joe Biden or Barack Obama or George W. Bush, it's bullshit. Well, forget about George W. Bush because he kept his mouth shut the whole campaign. Shame on him. But Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, any of these Democrats who during the campaign said they believe Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, he's a dictator, he's a fascist, he's un-American, all things I believe. They said these things during the campaign, and then Trump wins, and then you get all buddy-buddy with him, you sit down, you shoot the shit with him, you laugh with him. I agree with Trump supporters who are angry about this. I think that's wrong. I believe Trump is a threat to democracy. I believe he's a fascist. I would never sit down and laugh with him and shoot the shit with him. Not someone who I believe when he's going to be sworn in a week is going to do everything he can to undermine what makes this country great. Like, I believe that. And so I won't sit next to Donald Trump and get chummy with him. If Barack Obama really believed that and he said that during the campaign, it's pretty damn hypocritical that he's laughing with Trump. Joe Biden's been the same way since the election. Joe Biden called Trump a threat to democracy, a dictator, and a fascist during the campaign. Joe Biden has been super chummy with Trump. I think that's wrong. Kamala Harris, to her credit, ignored Trump at the funeral. Wouldn't look at him, wouldn't acknowledge him. Good on her. And again, this just goes to what you believe. I believe Trump's an outlier. I love seeing all the American presidents together, except for Trump, because they're all part of a club. Trump is an outlier. Trump's the only president this country's ever elected who's un-American, who tried to overthrow an election, who I believe is everything our founding fathers feared. I'm not going to shoot the shit with a guy like that. John Fetterman, Pennsylvania senator, went down to Mar-a-Lago this weekend to break bread with Donald Trump. I really like Fetterman, but I think that's wrong. I get it. I mean, Fetterman said, look, I'm the senator from Pennsylvania. I don't just represent Democrats. I represent Republicans, independents. I represent everybody in Pennsylvania. I get what Fetterman is getting at. I disagree when it comes to Trump, because Donald Trump has declared war on this democracy. And so if I were a United States senator, I would not fly down to Mar-a-Lago to sit down with a man who's declared war on our democracy. I wouldn't. I would respectfully tell my constituents why I can't and why I won't. And by the way, I make a big distinction because I preach all the time the social contract with Joe Walsh. Our political opponents are not our enemies. Don't hate the people you disagree with. Don't think they are your mortal enemy. Absolutely, amen. That's what I try to do every single day with everyone but Trump. When it comes to Trump supporters, I'll sit down with any Trump supporter. When it comes to Trump's cheerleaders in the media, I'll sit down with any Trump cheerleader in the media. I'll sit down with any American, any MAGA American, and try to have a respectful conversation. I will not and would never sit down with the man who in a week will have the power and try to exercise that power to destroy what makes this country great. I won't. When it comes to Trump, I won't. I think it's really important to resist what Trump is. Really, again, a distinction with people who voted for him, people who support him, people who cheerlead for him, all that. That's separate. I'll sit down with them anytime. Bum me out. Yes, un-American, Leo. Un-American. Trump's un-American. If you lose an election and you don't have the fucking balls or decency or love of country to accept the result of that loss, then fuck you, you're un-American. If you try to overthrow an American election, then fuck you, you're un-American. That's what I mean, Leo, by un-American, and I can go on. If you say you're going to be a dictator and you're going to be an authoritarian, that's fucking un-American. Yes, Leo, Donald Trump is 100% un-American. Absolutely. I could spend a whole afternoon, a whole morning talking about how un-American he is. Disappointed in Barack Obama. Then to me, it's up to Obama. And if I were Trump supporters, I'd be right with them, getting in Obama's face and saying, then Mr. Obama, President Obama, did you mean what you said about Trump during the election? That he's a threat to democracy, he's a fascist? President Obama, did you mean that? And if he says yes, then why are you sitting down with a fascist? If he says no, then why did you say that during the campaign? Joe Biden, you called Donald Trump a dictator. You, Joe Biden, said Donald Trump was un-American. Joe Biden, you said that during the campaign. President Biden, did you not believe that when you said it? And if you believe it, why are you sitting down with someone who's un-American, who's a threat to our democracy? No, you draw a line there. I do. I draw a line there, but every MAGA person right now listening to me who's irate at me, I'll sit down with any of you all the time, because that's what we got to do. But not Trump. He's an outlier. He's declared war on this country. Hey, thank you for listening, everybody. Let's make it a great, great week. My email is joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. Joe Walsh White Flag, that's one word, @gmail.com. TikTok, thank you for listening. Everybody, start of a good week. Be brave. Be brave out there.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with